The word of the day is cliché. So cliché is technically a French word, but it's one of those that gets used so much that we've kind of adopted it into our language. And a cliché is an overused stereotype or generalization. So clichés are often a bad thing. Usually, if you're being cliché or you're being stereotypical or you're generalizing, it means you're not really being creative, right? And that's a problem in a creative writing class. Clichés can also be problematic, like the picture. This is a cliché about someone who might live in France. And the problem with clichés like that is they can lead to racism, which was never going to be okay. So when you are making clichés or you're writing clichés about cultures or places or people, you're making stereotypes, making generalizations, that can quickly lead to racism because you're being stereotypical. If you're using the cliche in a really respectful, purposeful way, that would be okay. So like, for example, if I'm trying to show that my story is happening in France, instead of just being boring and saying, the story's happening in France, that's not creative. Instead, I could use a French cliche like the Eiffel Tower, and I could say something like, Sally gazed out the window and pondered the beauty of the Eiffel Tower. And in that way, I'm being more creative. I'm telling my reader where the story is without really just coming out and saying it, right? There's also lots of dialogue cliches. So Scooby-Doo always says, ruh-roh, or pirates. Pirates have tons of cliches. Our matey is just one of them. Homer Simpson often says, doh, when he makes a mistake. Batman, the old Batman, would say, to the Batmobile. So as a creative writer, you can use those dialogue cliches to your advantage to make your character seem more believable. So the unflinching walk is one of the videos that go with this vocab lesson. And that's a cliche that happens in action movies, that they're showing you that this is a cool character without just coming out and saying, like, this is a cool character. Cliche, also, like, it just saves you time. If you're being respectful and you're using them in the right way, they can save you time. One other really common creative writing cliche, you'll see poems that might start with roses are red, violets are blue. That's cliche. That's a stereotype. We as creative writers can be more purposeful than that. So, there you go. Cliche.